Yeah, so landfills are a critical part of any society, and it is a big part of solid waste management, and it is needed in Fiji and anywhere else in the world. But what we need to understand, and what has been a failure on our part in this country, is that landfill is not the solution to deal with your waste management crisis. We need to deal with our recyclables. How do we actually recover recyclables first before it goes to landfill? The current business model that we have in Fiji, which many progressive countries are very much shifting away from, and activist groups are really against the idea, is that landfills are targeting volumes, meaning that the business model in Fiji seems to be the current one, and the new ones that we're developing seems to be about as much as you take to the landfill, that's how the landfill's business will survive. So they're targeting volumes, and that is quite contradictory when we're talking about sustainability. When we talk about sustainability, it's not about as much as what you can take from one place and put it to another place, which is basically what a landfill is. It's about taking things that we don't need, the actual rubbish that we don't want in our environment, and putting it in another place where it's supposed to be sanitary landfill. But it's not supposed to be that everything goes there. And current business model is about that, where their business is surviving. Landfills survive because they're targeting as much volumes to enter landfill. And it has to be recovery first, recyclables coming out first, organic waste coming out first, and the actual rubbish, what is actually landfill rubbish, should end up at landfill. Well, it's a basic logic of sustainability. It's about that. Taking all of your rubbish or all of your recyclables to landfill, in simple terms, means what has happened in Suva, what has happened in Amboro, where we are saying that the landfill's life has exhausted way before its time. Like obviously that's what's going to happen, because we are taking everything there, and then we are injecting thousands, or if not millions of dollars to rehabilitate, to create new cells and things like that. Whereas the model should be that these items should be recovered, recycled, organic waste to be recycled to organic, and traditional recyclables like plastic, cardboard, paper to be recycled or upcycled. And that means we're saving energy, we're not tapping into new resources, we are recycling what has already been made. So it's how nature's ways, how life was meant to be. If you, like somebody very recently said to us, how nature and jungles and forests are, where everything gets recycled by nature. So here we have created these products. We have created plastic. We've created different elements that is ending in our environment. And it only becomes right that we recycle this as much as possible. And whatever cannot be, then should be taken to landfill. We've had landfill developed in Suva, and yet we have a huge waste management crisis. The answer should be there already. The other element is not talking to locals. Not talking, like, yes, some people talk to us, but we are also being used as tokenism. People talk to us just because they have talked to us, but they're not really listening to the message. The expertise are with people. The expertise is how do we solve this waste management crisis. It's about change in behavior, change in mindset, change in policy, in incorporating different mechanisms that we're collecting these recyclables, empowering the collection pillars of recyclers, communities who are engaging in informal collections, and then ensuring that these recyclables are recovered. Business models for landfills, in my personal opinion, should be left for the government to manage. Landfills should never be self-regulated. We should not have landfills where it is up to the operators of the landfill to say, we will take everything and then we will decide what comes out as recyclable. How do we know that those recyclables will actually be recovered? Because plastic and other recyclables are very low valued product. So if it's a purely business-centered operation, not taking into account sustainability and environment justice, it will be burned or dumped, simply put, because it's not like how scrap metal is, how certain other recyclables are, which are higher in value. So if landfills are self-regulated, meaning that whatever goes to landfill, if I'm a landfill operator, it's entirely up to me whether that leaves the landfill or gets dumped. It's a very worrying part of the equation, because we can be rest assured it will not be recycled, and we'll be creating the same problem what we have in here in Suva. So I think landfills should be developed based on lessons learned, based on best practices, what is happening globally, what are the best practices around there, and incorporating local knowledge and local setup, complementing that, and not in a drive to make it into a huge business model, because it is not that. It's not about making money. It's not about, it's, yes, there are opportunities for certain products to be have economic value, but not all of that. So it has to be purely done from the sense of what is it that we're trying to do. And they have rightfully said in the parliament that we have a huge waste management crisis, but the discussions are very surface based, in my opinion. It lacks context, it lacks understanding, and it lacks any kind of consultation. It is just another group of politicians who have somehow worn the hat of experts now, and are going to tell us, people who are operating in that field, on what has to be done. That has to be reversed. If they want genuine solution, there has to be genuine dialogue, genuine understanding of what we're trying to fix. And it is going to be, for us as a rights-based organization, about those things: social justice, environment justice, and making sure it's a holistic solution that complements the whole thing. So yeah, we welcome any landfill development, if it's sanitary landfill development, but the business models has to be really assessed, that it is not contradicting to the messages of sustainability. It's not about take as much as to the landfill as you can, because that's where the money will be made. It shouldn't be about that.